if I was in a relationship with someone who's a high quality man, obviously, I would want to be a high quality woman. Otherwise, I completely would understand like that there's not that compatibility. But at the same time, if you say relationship, if you say you're committed to me, then you're committed to me. And if you decide not to be committed to me, then it's not worth the relationship. So I guess that's my take on it.
Maybe I can clarify something really quickly, because I see this all the time, and Myron and Fresh have talked about this, and Kevin Samuels have talked about this. Tate talks about this, and I actually brought this up in my 4th book in religion, and it's actually drawn from another book called Alpha God by another evolutionary psychologist, Dr. Hector Garcia. And in there, he states that powerful men, now he doesn't use the word high value, he said powerful men throughout history have had 3 things. They've had resources, number 1. They've had access to territory, and they've had exclusive, unique access to a harem of preferably virginic, but not all cultures, preferably young, fertile women. So whether that's the emperor of China in the Forbidden City, or it's the tribal chieftain in the Yanomamo tribe in New Guinea, I think, the theme stays the same for powerful men throughout history. And so therefore, if you want to get with a guy who is the functional equivalent of a powerful man from our past, that there are certain compromises that you're going to have to make if that is the guy that's going to be for you. And the reason we have this conversation right now is exactly what I was saying before, is that women would rather share an alpha than to be saddled with a faithful beta, because women have been brought to a point right now of independence. So they don't need long-term security anymore. They don't need a man. They want a man. Who do they want? They want a guy like Tate. They want a powerful man. Well, when they want that guy comes with compromises now. So if you want to get with the guy who's a tribal chief, and by the way, that doesn't necessarily mean that the guy, this is a part that gets confused. I think a lot of like red pill guys think it means that you're the top G and you got Lamborghinis and everything else. But you can also find this in Mahatma Gandhi. You can look at it in Carl Jung. You can find the same thing in Dr. Martin Luther King. They all had side bitches. They all had mistresses on the side. They were powerful men. They didn't have the kind of money. Like Mahatma Gandhi was poverty stricken for most of the time he was active, but he had like side girls all the time. He was a powerful man doing what he was doing. He just wasn't financially powerful, but he was still made an impact on the world. All those people that I mentioned right there are not necessarily like multimillionaires, but they still have access to beautiful women, because that's how it works. And not that women like that, but if they want to get with a guy like that, they have to accept the compromise.
Do all 3 of you guys agree with that?
To a certain extent.
Well, he's making historical references, then yes. Like, do you guys remember all the protests that happened when Derek Jeter was fucking Jessica Biel and Jessica Alba and Mariah Carey? Mm-hmm. No, you don't. No one gave a fuck, because he was so high status that no one cared no one cared about all the women that George Clooney went through. Recently, we've seen this pushback with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's just like these men nobody cared with. No one was like, oh my God, Holly Madison, Hugh Hefner was having sex with other women. No one cared. No one had a problem, because these men were so high status that it just, for whatever reason, and the reason he's explaining, why King is Solomon or King David had 800 wives. I forget who it was, or yeah, had 800 wives. We didn't because society didn't bat an eye, because they were at such a high status that nobody cared that they were doing those things.
Gandhi kisses little.
What the man? We are
too close,
bro. That was a.
That's what I'm reading.
I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, that's a technical too flagrant. That's an injection right there.
That's not okay. Okay, don't confuse Mahatma Gandhi with the the Dalai Lama. Okay, stop it. All right, Mahatma Gandhi different than the Dalai Lama.
Okay, are you going to answer this question?
I think
I taught Andrew Tate everything he knows.
I love Andrew Tate.
So that means that you don't care if he sleeps with other women.
If I'm a part of it, no.
Okay. Thank you for answering.